Hey Pilates Party people, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline, a certified Pilates and yoga instructor here in Christchurch, New Zealand. Today's practice is a full body mat workout. Here on your mat, you do have some props and tools, so we have a strength integration built in with 1 kg, 2 kg, or 3 kg weights. Maybe that is wrist weights, maybe that is weights, dumbbells, or maybe that is soup cans, water bottles, whatever you have. Grab 2 and take them off to the side. Let's get this party started by sending our way into all fours. Hands are nice and wide to support those wrists. Shoulders and wrists are in alignment. Hips and knees are in alignment. Pressing to the outer edges of the hands, the pinky side. Inhale, we'll tip the hips up to the sky. Open the heart through the shoulders, finding that extension through the spine. And as you exhale, round like an angry cat. Nod the chin, scoop the tail. Taking this moment to find that breath and that mobility through the spine, that strength in the arms as you press away, pressing the tops of the feet and the shins into the mat. Continue here to breathe in as you open the heart and to exhale to round through that flexion through the spine. Now, knowing along the way in practice, if things get challenging and they're not feeling good in your body, you're always welcome to modify or skip it altogether. Flowing with what feels good today in practice. One more inhale and that extension. Exhale in that flexion. Inhale, find your way to a neutral spine when you're ready. Flowing with your breath once again, reaching through the crown of the head, nice and long towards the front of the room, the tail towards the back. Tuck those toes, and I'll meet you in downward facing dog, lengthening out through the backs of the legs, drawing the chest towards the tops of the thighs. There can be a soft bend in those knees. If it feels good, maybe starting to pedal into those legs, folding into one knee and drawing the opposite heel down. Still pressing through the palms of the hands, the chest still gliding towards the tops of the thighs. Maybe there's a little shake out in the head for you, the head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe a sway in the hips. We have 2 breaths wherever you are here in downward facing dog. And we'll find our way into a wide lunge. So on the next exhale, heels melt towards the earth, still pressing through the palms of the hands. Flex through the left foot. Kick the left heel to the sky, keeping those hips nice and square. And then point the toe. Slowly rolling onto the right tippy toes as you glide the heart forward into your plank. Draw the left knee to the outside of that left elbow or tricep, and then gently step it onto the outside of that left pinky. So now we have a wide-legged lunge here, wide-legged racer. Option to draw that back knee down or stay lifted. Reaching that left arm, reaching it all the way to the sky. Feel that twist through the spine. And then that forearm is going to land in between the arch of the left foot and that right hand. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forearm draws down. Now you're more than welcome to do this with that back knee lifted or lowered. Chop and change. Last one, inhale, reach that arm. This time, left hand comes under the left shoulder. Step it back into your plank. Pike those hips, downward facing dog. Still finding the strength in the hands pressing away from the mat, the chest melting towards the tops of the thighs and that pedal through the feet. Last breath here. And to the other side we go. Exhale those heels down to the mat, flex through the the right foot. Kick the right heel up to the sky. Roll onto the left tippy toes. Point the right toe as you draw it forward on the outside of that left pinky. Option again to stay lifted or bow that back knee down. Inhale, we'll reach that right arm up to the sky. Exhale, forearm will land. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Last 4. Last 3 moments here. Flowing with your breath for 2 more counts. Next time you reach that arm up to the sky, take that hand down under that shoulder, stepping the right foot to meet the left. Take those knees out to either side, untuck the toes, and settle those hips down to the heels. Roll out those wrists, wringing them out, maybe finding prayer, reverse prayer, anything that helps feel a little bit of warmth in the wrists, giving them a little bit of love. And then when you're ready, melting down into your child's pose. We have 2 more breaths wherever you are, whether still rolling out the wrists or settling in. On the next inhale, pressing through the shins, pressing through the hands, we're going to come onto your back body. So rock and roll onto your back body. Take those weights with you. We're going to start with core. So finding some chest lifts, rolling down with or without those weights. We reach up towards the sky. I'll roll a little bit further forward, reaching the back of the mat. Palms of the hands are going to face those knees. As you exhale here, imprint the lower spine, lengthen through the spine, tail is staying nice and long, and that lower back has melted onto the mat. Keep it melted onto the mat, almost as if there's an air bubble naturally under the lower spine or lumbar spine. And we're just going to squash that air bubble. Keeping that air bubble squashed, as you exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, sweep those arms to the tops of the knees, and then inhale, melt down. Exhale, inhale. Now, if you're feeling this more in the head, neck, and shoulder area, more than the core, make sure that you're nodding the chin just slightly towards the chest, not squishing here. Imagine you have a fuzzy peach, and you're just keeping that fuzzy peach from falling out to the side, but also keeping that fuzzy peach from being squished by that chin. Sending that chest plate or the sternum into the front of the hips. So just sliding it in. Letting this be more of an upper abdominal movement. Wherever you are, we're here for 2. Last moment here, finishing off your last chest lift. From here, we're going to flip the palms facing into one another. Take it onto the toes if it feels good. Keep that imprint of the lower spine or re-imprint the lower spine. Exhale, we're going to lift up. Take those hands on either side of the legs. So almost framing them. Reaching them forward to the front of the room. And then slowly tapping down. Let that leg tap down. Exhale to the other side. Reach those fingertips forward. And slowly melting down. Exhale. Now make sure you're not driving that knee into the chest. We're keeping it just on top of that hip. So that knee reaches into tabletop, just on top of that hip, letting that thigh bone slide down into the socket. Keeping that imprint. It's getting harder. Always an option here to keep the head, neck, and shoulders down. If it feels good, keep alternating. Otherwise, zipping up the inner thighs, knees knock together, ankles knock together. Imprint the lower spine. As you exhale, lifting those arms and reaching those legs. Tapping down, keep that imprinted spine. Take it slow and controlled. Exhale. Ooh, last one. It's getting spicy. Really nice. If you're still going to side, make sure that you even out the sides here. As you exhale this time, We're going to exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Pause for a moment, sliding the chest plate down into the front of the hips. Lifting one leg and then the other, or both legs simultaneously. Palms are then going to flip down, reach out into a V, back to center, flip the palms towards the chest or towards the body, and then tap one and then the other foot or both legs touch down, reset. Let's do it again. So as you exhale, lift into that chest lift, lift one leg, then the other or both legs together, flip the palms down, reach out into a V, back to center, flip the palms in, 1 and 2 or both, legs tap, lowering down, reset. Exhale, imprint the lower spine. Finding your breath here. Each movement is a different breath. So as you exhale into that chest lift, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now this can be done one piece or in two. We're here for 2 more. Oh, all right. This time we're going to keep the head, neck, and shoulders low, lifting one leg, then the other to tabletop position. Keep that imprint of the lower spine, get nice and cozy there. Tail stays nice and long. Instead of scooping those knees into the chest, we keep those knees over the hips, keeping those lower abdominals really nice and active throughout practice. From here, we're going to sweep that right arm back behind you and draw it back in. Let's do it with the left. And back to center. Let's add the legs. If it feels good, we're going to sweep the right hand behind you on the exhale. Left leg is going to reach in front of you. Dead bug. Inhale, drawing back to center. I did not name this exercise. Exhale. But it kind of does feel like it, doesn't it? It's a weird one, but it does make sense. Using that inhale to draw back to center, that exhale to reach out. Now, if you have a mirror, this is a really handy tool to find that imprinted spine continues to stay imprinted, that those legs haven't migrated towards the chest, which I think mine have a little bit. Slowly correct. Drawing those knees just over those hips, let them plug in. Last one, you're doing so well. If you have those weights, really well done. Let me know what kg weights you've decided to take on. This time, option to keep alternating, or for the last 2, we'll clap those hands together, interlace the hands, imprint the lower spine, and as you exhale, reach the legs away, zipping up the inner thighs, reach the arms away, and drawing back to center. Last one, you're either alternating or you're zipping in. And back to center. Ooh, all right. Take one of those weights down, walking right into that bridging series. Shake out that spine, shake out those arms, those wrists, those legs, maybe swaying those knees from side to side. Whew. Awesome work. Soles of the feet then land under the knees, setting yourself up for a bridge. So lift the shoulders and draw the shoulder blades into the back pockets. I'm going to take my weight into the left hand. Right hand is going to draw down to your side. As you exhale, we're going to scoop the tail, imprint the lower spine, lifting and articulating into that bridge. Keep it nice and equal between both sides, both soles of the feet, pressing into the mat. Instead of finding that extension through the spine or that lift of the lower spine, we're dropping it down, almost imagining a bodyboard here, pressing through the soles of the feet, rib-hip connection, so drawing the lowest rib towards the front of the hips, And then as you exhale, soften through the throat, the back of the shoulders, all the way down vertebrae by vertebrae, and release that tail at the end. As you exhale, once again, we find that articulation through the spine. Inhale, exhale. This time we're going to stay lifted. Keep that weight in the hand if you want a weight. Otherwise, both hands can be at your side. Awesome work. All right, now we're going to keep the spine nice and long, almost as if there's a ruler or a board behind you. Maybe you're acting like a body board. That's what I like to imagine in my mind's eye. That right hand stays heavy. That left arm is nice and bent at 90 degrees. We're going to roll onto the right tippy toes. So opposite of that weight. That's the toe that wants to be on the mat. As you exhale, we're going to punch up to the sky, keeping those hips nice and square. Folding down. Hips stay square. Pressing to the left sole of the foot. Lift the right leg up to tabletop. Tapping down the toes. Lifting the weight. Folding down. And lifting the leg. Now that we have the movement, let's find the breath. Exhale. Punch up. Inhale. Tap down. Exhale. Lift the leg. Inhale. Tap it down. Did the wrong breath. That's okay. Exhale. Reach. Fold. My words were correct. I was just incorrect. Exhale. Lifting up. Inhale. Tapping down. In the way my breath was actually working. Last one. Have those hips stayed nice and square. Punching that weight up. This time, keep that weight over the chest or over the collarbones, pressing and stamping into that left sole of the foot. Just the right leg is going to lift up and arc and down. So when you're ready, hips stay square, lift and tap the toe. Option for that left arm to be down on the mat. Last two. Last one. Sole of the foot then lands, lifting both hips up. Fold the left elbow and melt down to the spine, articulating through. Ooh, that glute. All right, onto the other side we go. Take that left hand down. Right hand now has the weight. We're going to roll it on up. Scooping and imprinting the lower spine, lifting and articulating up. And then slowly melting it all the way down. Now we've already warmed up the spine, so you're more than welcome to keep going right here. Otherwise, we're going to roll on up, feeling that difference between the weight not in the left hand, now it's in the right. We're going to roll on to the left tippy toes, and then we're going to find that nice punch up, fold down, lift up, tap down. Punch, fold, lift, and tap. Keep those hips square. You got it. Last two. Last one. Now that arm is going to stay lifted. So make sure those hips are nice and square. We're not teeter-tottering from side to side. We're nice and square, rib-hip connection. And punch that right arm up. Now it's just that left leg, arcing up and tapping down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sole of the foot lands, pressing those hips up and drawing that arm down, melting vertebrae by vertebrae into that mat. Oh my good garnet. All right, take that weight off to the side, taking it with the other weight. Fold the knee into the chest, take those hands into an underhand grip under the thighs. Lifting the head, neck, and shoulders, we're going to rock and roll all the way up into all fours. So press the thighs away, trying not to use momentum, just trying to lift yourself off and taking it into all fours. Now we're going to grab one of those weights once again. Once you've landed in a space that feels good to you, option here, no weights. Option, one weight in the left hand. So as you exhale, we're going to reach that right leg behind you. Feel that nice length through the front of the hip. Tuck the toes under. Exhale from here, pressing out, flicking that toe into a point and reaching it to the back wall. Inhale, tapping it back down. Tucking the toe. Exhale, flick the toe, reaching out. Inhale, tapping down. Now let's check in. We want that rib-hip connection once again, so hugging the lowest rib in and up. As you exhale, hug the lower abdominals in and up. Keeping those hips nice and square, even looking down at those hip bones to make sure they're nice and square. We have one more. And tap down. All right, we're going to add on a row with that left arm. Always a welcome to find that fist or that forearm with the right side of the body. As you exhale, flick the toe, elbow roll, and tap. Option to break it down. If it finds a little bit more balance for you today, reach that right leg, then row. Tap down, then tap. Otherwise, one movement, elbow slides past the torso for 3. Last 2. And 1. This time, kicking back, find that row, pause. Kick the pinky back, fold it down, and tap down. Now again, you can break it down, leg, row, extend, fold, tap, tap the leg. Otherwise, lifting all in one piece, find that tricep extension, kick that pinky, and tap it down. Last 2. Last 1. Tap it down. To the other side we go. Roll out those wrists. Left hand then finds the mat, whether that's the fist, the forearm. Find what feels good. You know what's coming. So we're going to extend that left leg out nice and long. Tuck those toes under, square off those hips. Hug the lowest rib in towards the spine. Noticing how I'm not dumping into that lower back. Actively working into the core. So dropping the lowest rib, hugging the lower abdominals in and up with every exhale. Then we start to flick the sand behind us, pointing the toe. Inhale, tapping down. Keeping that nice square shoulder, square hip. Last 2 breaths. Last 1. Now you're more than welcome to break this movement down. Otherwise, we flick the sand and row. Tap it down. Again, if you want to break it down, lift, arm row. Tap the arm, tap the toe. Otherwise, lift it all in one piece and tap it down. Keep those hips square, those shoulders square. The lower abdominals engaged. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's add on that tricep. So whether you keep breaking it down or find that row, we kick it out into that extension through the tricep, fold, and tap down. Exhale. Last 2. Last 1. All right. Whew, well done. Whew. Well done today, team. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, let's find a little bit of a cool down. So option to stay in a nice kneeling position, crisscross applesauce, or take that right shin out in front of you, that left shin behind, just finding your mermaid. Sitting nice and heavily into both hips, taking that right hand down, reaching the left arm out, flip the palm, and fold the right elbow into the torso as you reach the left arm overhead. Inhale, draw back to center. To the other side you go. Reaching up and over. This side always feels a little sticky. Inhale, back to center, and to the other side. Last breath. One more time on the sticky side. If you're in that kneeling or that crisscross applesauce, keep going. Otherwise, we take those arms out to the side, a little balance challenge. Take it on to the other side. You can use those hands if you would like to. Keeping those shoulders nice and soft, those hips nice and anchored. Take that left hand down, flip the right palm, reach it up and over. Inhale, draw back to center, flip it to the other side. Back to center when you're ready, maybe a few times over, finding any other movement that feels good in today's practice or to end today's practice. And I'll see you in the next video. Really well done today. I'll see you next time.